So I don't know about you, but it can feel like the world is trying to tell us what's important. And that's true now more than ever, right? In the age of social media, people are constantly sharing their opinions and their beliefs, and sometimes it's easy to forget what yours are. My next guest wants to help you say no to all of that noise, because after all, that's all it is, right? It's just noise. And she believes we can decide what we listen to and what we let slide by. Dr. Allison Mangrum is joining me. Great to see you, sister.
So good to see you.
You say in order to say no to the noise, we first have to align our actions, what we do, what we say, how we live, with our core values.
Yes. Walt Disney has a quote that I absolutely love. And he said, when your values are clear, your decisions are easy. And I think that's the key.
Yes.
When we know what we value, when we have been intentional and taken the time to figure out what matters to me, then it makes those moments when we feel pulled or others' opinions are swaying, we can step back and say, wait, does this align with my values?
It becomes mindless at that point.
It becomes mindless at that point.
You just move forward, you say yes, you say no, you turn left, you turn right, because those values are so clear.
They're so clear. And when we realize the connection between when we align our actions with our values, we are happier, we are more at peace, we are progressing more in our life. And when we see that connection, it becomes easier and easier to do it.
Can I put you on the spot? Can you think of a time when you have aligned your actions with your values, or your answer or your decision or your thought process has reflected those core beliefs and it's paid off in a good way?
Well, I think, you know, we can do this with everything in life. So we can step back and look at like who we are as a person or specific events. But I think even in my work life, you know, I think finding that work balance with your children is really hard. But in the beginning, I set the value of my kids will always, my time and connection with my kids will always come first. And so when I feel pulled in multiple directions and wondering what I should do, if I step back and remember that, I can make my decisions so much easier. And then I feel happy. And when I come and do something like this, I'm excited to do it because I'm not overloaded.
And it can trickle down to even the littlest of decisions. I've embraced the same priority and the same value, and it can surface at the kitchen table when I'm making dinner.
Exactly.
And someone wants to talk to me, I can say, oh, family first, kids first, stop, turn. Look, it
interact.
Makes even those little interactions or those little decisions easy.
Make a huge difference.
I think we all assume we know our values, and we could, every woman could probably rattle off, you know, a very good, strong list. But you say there are practices we can do to really hone in on and get specific on what we value the most.
Yes. You know, there's a couple practices I love, but one is just simply like closing your eyes, reflecting on when in my life have I felt the most happy and content. Not like the adrenaline, I'm on a roller coaster fun, but like truly content and happy in my life. And then what were you doing? Were you connecting with others? Were you creating something? Were you working towards a goal? And as you put that together, you can put those words out and it's like, oh, I really value time, connection, creativity. And that can be really helpful.
What would be another way, another example of how we can hone in on those priorities?
Another way is to think about the people you enjoy being with the most.
Okay.
And then describe them. What are they? Are they kind? Do they show up for you? Are they compassionate? Are they fun? You know, or you can even kind of go the opposite route and think about the times when you're most uncomfortable, and you usually value the opposite of that, right?
Do you find you need to do a recheck even now and then? We talk about those outside voices, that outside noise, and we know our values, and maybe we've done that exercise or put that into practice in the past. Do you check in with yourself?
I honestly realign my values like daily, weekly. So at the beginning of the summer, I'm like, okay, what do I value most for this summer? You know, we just had a family vacation, which all of us are doing. So before I left, I thought, okay, what do I value the most out of this vacation? And it was adventure and time with my kids. And so when questions would come up, hey mom, do you want to run and jump into the lake with me? Yes, I do.
Yes.
Because that's going to give me time with you and an adventure.
I mean, I might not in the moment, but
exactly.
According to my values.
But I'm going to do it because it's going to connect me with what matters most.
I feel like we're kind of circling the drain on the word boundaries, which shows up a lot in this conversation, but you say appropriately so.
Yes. You know, once we align our values, then we have to be able to express it, right? And it can be uncomfortable. Like if I am valuing time with my family right now, that might mean I have to say no to other things. And that's uncomfortable for a moment. But I love Brene Brown's statement of choose a moment of discomfort over feelings of resentment. And it's like, if I can remind myself like, oh, it's uncomfortable to say no, but then it brings me closer to, again, happiness, peace, progression. it's worth that moment of discomfort.
It's worth that uncomfy no.
Yeah.
30 seconds left. You do have a simple line you can share with us to help us avoid, as we're scrolling, the buy this, think that, do this, how to get away from that noise trap.
Yeah, I think, just stepping back and asking the simple question, does this align with my values? And I have written on a board in my house that actions plus values equals peace, happiness, and progression. And when I remember that, it's easy to say, if it doesn't align with my values, let it go.
Scroll on. Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah. Allison, thank you.
You're
great
welcome.
ideas, great practices, great questions to ask ourselves regularly. Where can we find more from you?
You can find me on Instagram and on my website at Meditate with Allie.
Okay. We'll link you there from our website. Thanks again.